Hey guys, it's your girl Fab. I am back. Oh my god, it's been so long. We haven't spoken, right? So sporadically that happens for me. I go into these intervals where I just go down a rabbit hole, either on a particular topic or a project that I'm working on, but I dive right in and I kind of disconnect. I disconnect with any and every distraction. I just zero in, I focus, and I got to get something done. So for the whole month of April, I was working on finishing my ebook, which is live on the website www.thefabpreneur.com, and my e-course is on mindset because it all starts here. We can read all the books on how to be rich and how to make money and how to have high emotional intelligence and all this other stuff. But if we're not in the right mindset, where we are coming from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance, we're not even going anywhere. It's going in one ear and boop, out the other. So, but yeah, guys, I'm so excited. What have I been doing? I have been doing a lot of research. I've been doing a lot of homework. Things of that nature. Just like I said, just really diving into the neuroscience and just neurology in general, just really trying to dig deep and really understand why we do the things we do and what prevents us from doing the things that we know we have to do. And I hope you find my research and my work helpful. Again, it's on the website www.thefabpreneur.com. And check it out. Let me know what you think. All right. But for today, guys, we are jumping right into it. This is a new episode entitled I'm Still Married, but I'm Dating. So I get asked often because obviously I'm divorced. And some of my clients, not all, but definitely a lot of colleagues have asked me this question like, hey, I know my marriage is over, it's completely deteriorating, we're not happy, and but it's at that sticky point where like either we haven't initiated the divorce, it's on the table, or we have initiated it, but it's in that sticky part where it's over. But do you start dating? Do you start a new chapter before closing the one before? So yeah, guys, that leads us into this conversation here where when is it a good time to call it quits? Now, I cannot and will not ever answer that question for you. But we're gonna definitely go over some things that could kind of help you understand and know when might not be the right time for you to call it quits. But definitely, we are going to talk about when you should be starting a new relationship before completely leaving another one. So, me, I am a stickler. I am very big on new beginnings. It means everything to me. If you know me, you know that at the end of the month, I really got to take some time out to meditate, to prepare myself for a new month, a new beginning, a new week, a new chapter, a new year. I'm just that person. I get excited about new beginnings. I get excited about meeting new people and embarking on a whole new journey and having conversations. I love meeting interesting people because I love new beginnings. However, I find it extremely important that before you start any type of new beginning with anyone or any new job or anything, you need to completely deal with what was there before, your past, or you need to close that chapter before you start something new. So why is that important? Guys, when it comes to relationships, like I said, I've been married before. I was married for 9 years. And when I knew it was over, I communicated that to my partner. It's not working out. This is what's going to happen, right? And even though emotionally I craved to make a new connection with someone, physically I craved to meet someone new, I needed to strategize and deal with the current situation. Now, that was easy for me. That was an easy decision for me to make because children were involved. So I had to move very strategically and know exactly what I was going to do and when I was going to do it. Because obviously, I'm not going to just introduce my kids to just any old body. But it was very important. So I know I couldn't just get up, get out, and get something or someone. You have to plan. And I had to really make sure that this chapter in my life was completely, completely over. And it's also not fair to the new environment, the new person that you're meeting. Like, why are you bringing baggage and drama and trouble? I don't like that. I personally make sure I really got my situation under control before starting something new with someone. And again, that was very important to me because I did not think it was fair that whoever that I started to date or that I, met would have to deal with any baggage. Like it's not theirs to deal with. It's my situation. I should handle it before I introduce someone else to me in my world. But some people are not doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we starting new relationships or attempting to start new connections with people when we still have drama at home? So these topics always get very personal. So I've met some people, right? Men. I've met some men who weren't quite finished in a prior situation and are attempting to start something with me. And so my thing is I try to always gauge exactly what it is that they're looking to accomplish. Because honestly, sometimes when people are in relationships that they're not happy in and they haven't been happy for a very long time, 9 times out of 10, they just want someone to talk to. They really, really want someone to talk to. I needed someone to talk to, and I found people that I could talk to. But this conversation is more about those who are rebounding and rebounding very hard, where they're just plunging into other situations without healing, addressing, doing the work to address what they had going on in their previous life. So, and that leads me into another topic because I currently know, not a lot, I currently know a handful of people who, and I was that person too, where you came out of a relationship and you just jumped into another, and then you jumped into another, and then you jumped into another. I tell myself all the time that I can't quite trust someone that just has been in like several long-term relationships back to back without ever having like 6 months to 2 years of personal time where you're just dealing with self, who I am, what I want. I'm sorry, the phone is ringing. Without dealing with themselves, because I feel like unintentionally you're gonna unpack that on someone else. You're gonna dump that on someone else, and it's not necessarily their fault. Their burden to carry. So I'm really big on like, let's deal with the past. Let's close that chapter. Let's get the divorce papers. I mean, let's get the divorce rolling, right? Because for some women and some men too, you'll date someone and they'll say, "Hey, I'm married, it's not working out," or "Hey, I'm in a relationship, it's not working out." And well, okay, have you communicated that to your partner? No, I haven't told her yet, or no, I haven't told him yet. So why are you here with me? like I don't understand. If it's not working out, you're not happy, why haven't you communicated that to your person? And if the person is married, then in some instances they're not even like, they haven't even initiated the divorce yet. You're like, wait a second. I believe 90% of the time how we do one thing is how we do everything. So, yes, please. I'm really big on closing that chapter before you get into something else. So, just to circle back on things, I've been asked this question, and I said I would elaborate and talk about it here on Let's Talk About It Fab. Um, in my situation, I was still pregnant. I was pregnant when I knew it was over, and I communicated that to my partner. Um, and so for me, it was imperative that I had a healthy pregnancy during that time. So my focus was more on doing the work in terms of mapping out the life I would like to have. So I dreamt about it. I manifested it. I talked about it. I wrote it down. So number one on my list was losing the baby fat and getting back to me. I talk about this in my episode where I was married for 9 years, but I've never been in a marriage. It was imperative. It was something that I dreamt about and I woke up every day craving. And it was getting back to me, getting back to my hair, getting back to my lashes, getting back to my skin, my body, the way I dress. It was just getting back to fab. It was just so important to me. So before I was even thinking about meeting someone and dating someone and starting something new, I was more concerned about getting me together physically. Because for me, that's where it started. I needed to feel good. I needed to look in the mirror, look at myself and be like, you are gorgeous. You are beautiful. Love yourself. And that was important to me. So that was the first step. And then, of course, I got my mind right, my body right. I was pregnant and I still had other children. So I had to make sure my pregnancy was going well. And my other children were fine and business was going well. So just a lot of inner work that I had to do, before I could even start thinking about someone else. Now, did I crave other people? Did I want to start a connection with other people? Yes, I did. I definitely did. But I know it in the long run, I was playing the long game. So I had to really strategize and get some things in place. So once I did, once I did get myself together, once I got my glow up back, it was over. But I still wasn't, my divorce wasn't finalized. And guys, you'll read about it in my book, how the whole divorce went down. And my book, Booked, Busy, and Broke, which is available on Amazon. You know, my divorce was initiated during COVID. And we were living together during COVID. And it was some very interesting time. Very interesting time. So yeah, there were steps, there were steps to it. But once I did come out of it, once my divorce was official and it was finalized, guys, I felt like I could breathe. I felt like, whoo, oh my God, freedom. And I could breathe. And I felt it was okay to at least start connections or at least make myself available for connections. And it was the most amazing thing because when I did meet someone, it was like, okay, where are you in life? Well, I am such and such. I am of this age and I am a divorced woman, and so on and so forth. It was easy to communicate that. I just didn't know how was I going to communicate to a man that I'm still married and I'm dating. I just didn't know how that would be received, and it wasn't my goal. So, I didn't take that route. But there are really some people out here who are, let's talk about it, guys. Like, why are we out here starting new connections while we're still in relationships with other people? And in some cases, some people who are completely unaware that there's even a problem or a major problem where you want out. I think it's a lack of emotional intelligence. Either we're afraid, there's fear, there's a fear of how we'll be received hey, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. I'm not happy. I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, it is a sign of low emotional intelligence that we cannot express ourselves to our partners and communicate to them that we want out of a situation. And I really would like to hear from a man. I really would like to hear from men because I've heard from many women and what we think and what we speculate the issue is. But a woman would, she's more likely to say, hey, I'm not happy. I want to get out. I want a divorce. But some men will stay in these marriages and relationships until I don't know what. And guys, I wish someone would just talk to me and tell me why that is. Why are you so unhappy? You are not getting your needs met. There is no communication. Heck, you're sleeping on the couch in the living room. And this is going on for years. Why aren't you leaving this person? Like I don't understand it. Like I just don't get it. And I really need a man to really get on this podcast or get in my DM, send me a comment or something, and just really explain to me why men are staying in these marriages and relationships that they are miserable in, to the point that they're sparking up new connections and conversations with women. And it's like an outlet. Like a lot of times, sometimes I speak, oh, these are my clients that I'm speaking to. So thank God they're coming to me and, I'm kind of coaching them through it all. But in some instances, there are some men who are trying to make a love connection with me, and they're still in situations. And I'm just like, sir, what are we doing here? Um, and it's always the same thing. Like, yeah, I'm not happy. Then why aren't you leaving? And it's not that easy. So it might be financial situations, the children, they don't want to break up their families. But I just hate to see it. I just really, really hate to see men who are stuck in marriages and relationships, and they're just so unhappy. They're just so unhappy. And ladies, ladies, it's it's just a double-edged sword because I can relate because I was that woman. I was that woman for a time period. But once I came out of my marriage and I was divorced, then I'm seeing another side. And so, what I'm trying to say is, ladies, ladies, a lot of the complaints that I hear from men is that their wives don't listen to them. And I know I was that woman before where I am big on communication. I'm a good communicator, but I wasn't a good listener. I wasn't a good listener. I would hear you, but I was not listening. I was not paying attention. And so a lot of the times these men are stating, well, she doesn't listen to me. She doesn't hear me out. She just want things her way or the highway. And then there's other complaints about sex that they're not having. And I'm just like mind blown because I grew up from a culture from, I come from that background where you are to satisfy your man. Like, you have to pleasure your husband. You got to give him some. So it never makes sense to me when I hear that women and men are not pleasuring their spouses. They're not. If you're not having sex, there is no marriage, right? That's a big issue for me. And so men that I talk to are saying that, it's the communication. She doesn't hear me. She doesn't listen to me. We're not having sex. I'm not having enough sex. My needs are not being met in that way. And then sometimes there's financial issues. Like either she makes more money, she's the boss chick in the relationship, or he's not making enough, or there's just too many bills, or something like that. And in other instances, there are like, the children don't make it easier. And, this is a lot of complaints. And sometimes I'm just like, I have to sit back and I reflect on who I was in my marriage, how I was handling a lot of these things. And I sucked at it. I really sucked at it, because just like raising children, we're not given a manual on this stuff. And honestly, I've said it, I'll say it, and I'll continue to say it. A lot of these podcasts out here are not helping for real, for real. They're not helping. They're just amplifying the situation and broadcasting it on social media. So we go back to our communities, we go back to our tribes, and we're talking to family, we're talking to friends, or we're seeking, counsel from therapists, or from a life coach, just to get some guidance on how to handle this stuff. I tell people all the time, right? If you're a married couple, you should have other married friends and circles, right? And I feel that sometimes we can have friends that are not married, that are not on the same journey and path that we are, and we might get some advice from them that's not really quite helpful. So again, just to go back, I remember myself in my marriage, and I think that we were young, and we were very young, and we went through a lot together, and we were just learning, rolling with the punches, and just trying to figure it out. There were several other issues, but I constantly felt like we were just trying to figure it out as we go along. And so I would say I encourage the married couples who are listening to me right now, or the married spouse, or even individuals who are in long-term relationships. Number one, communicate. Oh man, communication is just so important. We're not getting anything done without opening our mouths, right? We have to communicate. Hey babe, can we sit down this Friday? We really got to talk. I really got to tell you something. I got to get something off my chest. And I know sometimes our partners are not creating a safe space to talk. We're just going to have to create it on our own. We're just going to have to put our big girl panties on, big guy briefs on, and create our own safe spaces, and just, communicate. So I think it starts there. We got to open our mouths. We got to communicate to our partners and let them know, hey, I'm not happy. And I don't know if you do it for me anymore, or I'm not happy. Let's get some help, because I think we can still salvage what we have here, but we just got to talk. We need help, right? So communication is first. Communication is first. And you can't control how the other person is going to receive what you're saying. You're just going to have to, just deal with it. Whether that person gets upset, or, they're angry or whatever, at least you got it off your chest. And how we're going to salvage this marriage, how we're going to save this marriage, if it can be saved. And I know these times are really tough, because if it's just you two, it's one thing. But when there's children involved, man, it becomes very, very, very difficult. And again, I am not in the business of telling people what to do. I am in the business of trying to help you utilize tools that are available to us to help you make the right decision for yourself. But I would start with a plan. These are the things I love about this person, and these are the things that I absolutely despise, and these are just, things that I can't negotiate on. So let's just find a happy medium if we can, and try to work it out and salvage it. Or look, this just might be the end of it. So I would come up with a plan, a strategy, work on it together, work on it separately, then come together. But you got to communicate first, and then you have to start strategizing, in the direction that you guys want to head into. And then when you do decide, right? Let's just say like, look, we're going to work it out. We're going to stick it out. Stick to the plan. Don't deviate from it. Don't do it for 5 to 6 weeks and then stop, because that's what some people will do. Oh, I'm going to be exactly what this person needs and wants for 6 months, and then I'm just going to do me. People are seeing right through that now. Everyone's in therapy. Everyone's doing the work. Everyone knows when you're putting in the real effort and when you're not. So again, really sit down with yourself and see if the situation can be salvaged, and if it can, just work on the plan and stick to it, and let it be something that you really want to do. Because then on the other hand, if you know that the relationship is in fact over, I really, really encourage people to sit in that space. Sit in that space. You've been in love with someone. You've been giving someone your body, your life, your time. Sit with that. It's not a time to, okay, I told them I don't want to be in a relationship. Let me go jump and find someone else. No, sit in that space for a little bit. I've been, for 6 months, for 9 years, for 8 years, for 5 years, for 2 years, I've been giving someone all of me. And now that has come to an end. That's grieving. There's grievance there, And so we have to really sit in our emotions at that time with that situation, and we heal ourselves, we work on ourselves, we nurse ourselves back to health. I then think before you start a connection with someone, you have to kind of relearn yourself again. What kind of person have I been to get into the situation that I was in? And what kind of person was I to stay in it that long? Try to learn who you are again and who you have to become to be in a healthier relationship or better situation before getting into one. And then eventually, when you are ready to get into a new relationship, you have to kind of work on not bringing all the baggage from the old relationship into the new one. Guys, overall, it's a process. It's a process. I'm very weary of people who jump from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, because there's so much work that has to be done after each encounter that I don't see how people do it. And I used to do it. Like I said, I had to stop and get myself together. But so I would say before you start anything new with someone, just try to do the work. Try to do the work. Try to work on yourself and try to close that chapter fully before starting something with someone else. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope that the words I had encouraged someone out there. I hope it helped someone out there. In my closing thoughts, like, guys, life is just too short to live unhappy. It really is. And I think that we have periods and moments and times and seasons within relationships that we're not happy, that are not going to last forever. Not if you're talking about it. You're doing the work, you're getting counseling, you're getting therapy, your work. It won't last forever. So I'm not here to tell you that, all relationships don't have their issues. But if you know deep down inside that you're not content, rather, you're not showing up as authentic in that situation, in that relationship, maybe some time to really sit with yourself and really figure out what you're gonna do. Because, like I said, life is just way too precious and too short to be in a situation that you're not happy. Okay? Well, I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed my episode today. And like I said, do not forget to follow me on Instagram on Let's Talk About It Fab. You can also follow me on I am Fabiola Joseph on Instagram and my business page, The Fabpreneur, on Instagram. But hit the subscribe button, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.